What's up, guys? This is Eric Griffin, and I want to give a big shout out to Helix Sleep, right? Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to the mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Find the perfect mattress at helixsleep.com/Griffin. Let's start it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast. Welcome back to Real Fam with Griffin. This is Real Fam with Griffin. Welcome back, guys. So one more time to Riffin with Griffin. Today is going to be all movie review episode with a little catch up on my life. Got some big news. I got some big news for you. But other than that, it's just going to be the same old Eric Griffin, same old Riffin with Griffin. So I'm glad you're here. We're going to be talking about the Snyder Justice League, you know, and maybe a little Falcon. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Fam with Griffin. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Anyways, welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another week. It was birthday month. It's still birthday month. March 12th was my birthday. I had a good time. I'm having a really fantastic birthday month. So, beard is back. Had to shave a little bit last week. Had this huge audition. But first of all, thanks for being here. So please subscribe, share, like, listen, watch this, and also listen to the audio. I need your help everywhere I can do it. I got somebody that's actually going to start helping me, so we'll see if that makes a difference, taking some of the load off, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'm still going to do the podcast, and I got like I got something else in the works in the podcast space. So we'll see what's going on. And once again, I'm always gaming. I'm on Eric Griffin Gaming daily. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue doing it daily like that, but I'm still going to be gaming. I'll have a schedule if I can't do it daily, because I kind of just randomly come on and then people come. Yeah, that works. So make sure you catch me out there on Eric Griffin Gaming on Twitch, and I usually put those videos up on YouTube. All right. So, anyways, you know, big birthday month. So, I don't think I can actually say exactly what it is yet, which is a shame because I think they're going to make an announcement. They've probably made an announcement today, the day their podcast is released. But either way, in the event that they didn't, I don't want to be like, oh, this happened. But I had a huge audition for a television show, and it was a whole big rigmarole, man. You know, it was a network show, and I booked it, y'all. I booked it. So as of right now, I booked it. I mean, I could be fired by next week. Who knows? That's just how it works in the business. It's such a weird thing. You go to the table read and they go, you know what? I actually don't like, he's too tall, or whatever they could say. But anyways, for now, it's exciting. I went through a whole thing with it. You know, it's amazing how in this business your life can change with an email. Because I basically got an email saying like, because this is what happens. You get an audition. Your agent sends you an email. He's like, here's an audition. It's a self-tape audition or whatever kind of audition it is. This one happened to be an audition by Zoom in front of like producers, the producers and the creators of the show, you know? So I'm like, okay, you know, so then I get on the Zoom. I set my room up, you know, in the other room. I set it up. I got the thing ready to go. I'm ready to do this thing. And then like, you know, say it was at 4:00. And then all the people pop on the screen. Hey, Eric, hey, Eric, hey, Eric, hey, Eric, hey, Eric, you know. And then they are, they go, okay, all right, go ahead, Eric. You know, you'll read with the assistant, you know, and all of us will mute. And by the way, this is different. This is, COVID auditioning, because you don't understand that there is something about when you walk into a room and you're auditioning in front of like I remember Workaholics. Like, I'll never forget the Workaholics process, okay? So I went to the first audition at Workaholics. It was in front of the casting director, you know? So it was like, you know, the two casting directors. And then, you know, I did my audition. I had prepared for it because I really thought it was such a bizarre role. And I was like, this Montez, who the hell is it? This is such a weird character. I said, I really want to say these weird things on TV. So, you know, I did the audition. And then, like, the casting director looked at the other casting director, and they were like, you know, maybe that's it, And so, and then it was just a long process after that. So the first time I met the boys, I've told this story before, but whatever, who cares, right? Maybe this is your first time listening to Riffin with Griffin. But like, I went to the audition like a day ahead of time and I met Blake. Like, Blake's just walking through this little office hallway and I'm like, hey, and he goes, are you here for Montez? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's tomorrow. Then I was trying to play it off like, well, I like to come early. So I went to the audition early, but Blake always tells me that he went back to the writer's room and he was like, yo, guys, I think I just met Montez. So that's just that's all that. But, even if it's not true, we know what they say. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. So, so anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, I walked into the room now and I'm meeting Kyle. I'm seeing Anders, and I'm seeing Blake, and here's Adam Devine sitting there, who I didn't even realize it was his show. I thought he was just like interning or something like that. It was so weird because I just saw him a week before, anyways. And so you have this energy in the room though, when, so, you're getting direction from the director or, the producers are telling you to kind of, hey, try this, whatever you're trying to get. And then you can kind of do the work and you could see the response. And I'm a performer, I'm a comedian. So I like that. I like that interaction, so that's been taken away when you do things over Zoom. So now cut to, I'm doing this audition and, it's just me and the assistant, and everybody else mutes their thing and they mute their mics, they turn off their video and it's just me and her. I do it. No feedback. I don't know if it was funny or not. You know what I mean? Because by meaning, I don't know if it was funny because you hear the laughter. So I do it, I was pretty confident in how I did it. And then, everybody comes back and they go, ha, they claim. The thing too is like when you go in the room, you want to do it again. You want to give them another crack, and these people were like, no, we got it. Thank you. So I was like, well, I had all this lights and shit set up and I was like, well, there goes that. I'm not going to get that one, and now I had this running joke with my manager. I call, I always text him. It's like, I go to auditions and I go, what's because I always want feedback. What happened? Come on, let me know what's going on. And he'll be like, this is the response you get a lot. They loved you. Casting loved you. They loved you, but, they loved you, but. So this time, so now I always go, did I get the I love you, but yet? Tell me about the, So this time he goes, well, they said they loved you and there was no but. And I was like, what? Okay. So then it just started this whole process, man, of like, okay, so now I'm waiting. So then they want me to test. So when you're about to do a network show, they have a thing called a test. And the test is basically it's like they're deciding between you and 2 or 3 other people or how many people they want. And they're saying one of you is going to get the job. So what they do is they make you sign a contract. So they make you go, okay, we want you, one of you. So everybody has to sign a contract like you're going to get the job. So you sign a test contract, and it sucks because you see the money that you could possibly make, it's on your head. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? I wish they didn't do that because, but it is what it is. So, I signed a contract and then now you have a test audition and they did it by Zoom again, so I go, I have it all set up and I did it in here too. I had a lav mic on. I got my good camera. I made sure it wasn't blurry because I'll be messing up with the podcast sometimes because I hit the wrong button. And then when you hit the button, it auto focuses. And then when it auto focuses, when nobody's sitting here, it's autofocusing, say on this, and it looks blurry. So I realized I was supposed to press a different button, but who knows? It may still mess up. But anyways, so I have it all set up. I have my thing set up. I got it. It's looking good, professional, and I do the test. You know what I mean? Everybody's laughing. And then the thing about the test too is the producers and director and everybody's there. It's the writers, producers, and they're giving you do it this way. Let's do it again, but try it like this. So that's kind of cool, but you still don't get any feedback in terms of laughter. So I do that. So I do the test. I think I did good. I really liked it, and then I get a call a few days later and they're like, hey, they want you to test again, and for me, I know what it is. It's and this is a thing I think a lot of comedians have trouble with when they transfer into acting. You have this sort of they say you're too big. You're not grounded. They want you to be grounded, meaning they want you to be more real. Meaning they want it to feel doesn't feel like acting or pushing or trying to be funny. They want you to be grounded, they say, And I always have that problem because when you're on stage, you're a comic, you're being big. You know what I mean? I'm doing things for this big laughter. And I'm boisterous and and I have all that sort of energy. But you can't be like that, say, on a TV show. And I learned that when I did, and then my original first job ever, like TV job, was Montez, Workaholics. And Montez is like a fucking nutbag. You know what I mean? Just big and boisterous and all this kind of stuff. So everything I do after that, you kind of get typecast, I had this one casting director tell me one time, I went in an audition. It was during Workaholics time, and I go to audition, and he says to me, "Hey, this isn't Montez, right?" And I was insulted by that, because I was like, it was insulting, but at the same time, I understand. I wish he had been like, "Hey, it's not as big as Montez. Let's make it more grounded." So that's what they wanted for this, and my tendency is to the actress that's going to play my wife on the show, she's there. We're reading together, So they gave me some notes, and we did it again, and they said, "Oh, we loved it." It was like, I really thought I killed it. I really did. I was like, I killed that shit, And then I get another call. They want you to test again. And I've never heard of this before. Like, doing the audition 3 times. The third time, they wanted me to dye my beard. No, first they wanted me to shave it. So the first one to test, I shaved the whole beard. The second test, I shaved the beard off. They wanted me to shave it off. They wanted to see how that looked. The third test, they wanted me to dress a certain way. They wanted the beard to be dark now. Instead of shaving it off now, can we put some color in it? And I was like, what? And then they had me dressed. I put the picture up on Instagram. It's like, I'm not as cool as this character is supposed to be, apparently, But, it's acting. So you can, whatever the costume is, it is what it is. I had like a hoodie, then I had like a jacket over the hoodie. Then they wanted my old glasses, the horn rim glasses. And they wanted me to look like this, whatever their envision of the character, because they wanted the network to see, this is what he's going to look like, which made me feel like they're like, well, I don't know. Can he look a certain way? Is it gonna look good with those two, or whatever their apprehension was about me? These people wanted to show, no, we see the vision. We want him to do it, which made me feel good. So I did a test for the third time, I did it. And when it first started, I was a little nervous at first. I realized, but luckily in the process, because we're filming it, you get to do it again. And by the way, I think that's the best way to do it. I have auditioned for a sitcom before where I got a test. It was for Dr. Ken, actually. I was going to be the nurse on Dr. Ken. And it's funny because the guy that got that job, him and I were having an argument. It's so stupid. But we were having an argument in the waiting room, about the gay parade, I remember. I'll never forget. We were having this, he was, anyway, I'm not even going to go into it. But we had a stupid argument. It was like before the test, just psyched each other out, right? But he ended up booking the job. But here's the thing. So normally when you test, you walk into a room full of suits, people who the entertainment business. Let me tell you something about the entertainment business. It's one of the few businesses, of my limited, experience, because I haven't been in a lot of businesses, but this is what I know about it. Good at it. Meaning they're not actors. They're not performers. They're not talented. They're not creative people. They're just people that make choices. You know what I mean? So they write checks. So because they write checks, they want to make choices. They want to make decisions. So, I go and I'm sitting in front of these people. But here's the thing. It's a lot of pressure. It's different. So you walk into a room and you have to do the audition. And I remember being nervous, and I remember fumbling the lines and whatnot. And this is could change your life. So to me, I always think, why make it like a one-man show play that you have a one and done, like the NCAA championship or something, and you have to hit the shot right there, as opposed to hey, let's record it a few times. Let's get it the way it's going to be, like how when you do the actual show. So, it's a tough thing. So it's part of it. It weeds out the weak, man. So, and I've tested other times too. I tested for another show when it was I was getting some odd notes from the director, producer. It's the day before the test, the lead actor calls me and he's like, "Hey, man, it was for CBS." I remember he was like, "Man, CBS wants you to be this grounded." There's another word, grounded, so make sure, it's we don't want to be too over the top. We don't want to be, and I'm thinking to myself, so you don't want me to do all the shit I've been doing to get me to the point where you want me to be in front of the network. So now when I'm getting in front of the network, you're telling me, hey, don't be you. Don't do all the things that we wanted you for. can you do this thing? It was so bizarre. So I go, I do it. I leave the room, and then the guys come out. The guy, I remember, forget the producer runs out. Eric, listen, we want you to do it again. Please go in and do it again. All those notes we told you, please forget all those notes. I'm like, oh, really? You mean, so go do the thing that makes people laugh, that made you laugh, that made you want me to do this. It was such a bizarre thing. But of course, I didn't get to part. The show didn't go anyway. So whatever. So, so why am I even talking about all this? It's because the Zoom is different. But you know what? And I talked about this with Jeremiah Watkins, and he really brought this to my attention. Doing this is prepared me for booking this show. You guys have helped me. Doing this podcast, gaming, having this equipment, knowing how to set it up, being comfortable being in my room, just talking to no one, and knowing that I still have to perform and make sure that people that are listening get it. All this has prepared me to be able to do a great Zoom audition. And I did it, y'all. And I booked that bitch. Booked it. So hopefully when this comes out, you'll know, as you hear this, you'll know what it is. You'll be like, oh shit, I just saw the announcement or whatever. So, but anyways, all right. So that's the big thing. I wanted to talk to you about that, about the Eric Griffin fan base, we're small and mighty. But now let's get into what I wanted this episode to be about anyway. What's up, guys? Here to talk to you guys about Helix Sleep. You got to go to Helix Sleep. It's probably literally the best mattress I've ever had, especially, listen, they make it easy though. Let me tell you, the best thing about Helix Sleep is you get this sleep quiz. You take this 2-minute sleep quiz, you put all your information in. It's like eHarmony for, you and your mattress. I did that. I'm a side sleeper, so I need it to be firm, but not too firm. And I got the mattress of my dreams. And it's I'm telling you right now, I'm not just saying that because listen, this is an ad, right? But it's an ad because it's a testimonial, and I'm telling you, this is the mattress you got to get. And I know it's a lot of things going on right now in the world that makes it hard to sleep with stress and all that kind of stuff. So you want to have a good mattress that helps you sleep. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2000 by GQ and Wired magazine. All right. Helix is offering up to $200 off on all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Griffin. You hear what I said? helixsleep.com/Griffin, and have the best sleep of your life. They're a great company, and I highly recommend it. I sleep on one. You should sleep on one too. So shout out to Helix Sleep. Remember, go to helixsleep.com/Griffin for $200 off and some pillows. Let's get back to the show. What's up, guys? I want to talk to you guys about BetterHelp. Listen, I talk about this a lot. I do real world advice from a grown-ass man. I give out advice, and I always tell people, look, I'm not an expert, I'm not a pro, and I encourage people to get therapy. It's great. I've been to therapy, and it doesn't solve your problems necessarily. That's not what it's for, but it does help you organize your thoughts, make you understand the root causes, make you connect the dots with a professional. And that's what BetterHelp is all about. You could start your communicating with under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. And that's an important thing too, because sometimes you feel like, oh man, am I stuck with this person? No, they help you go, hey, if it didn't work out with that one, you know what? Try another one, because it's all part of their service. Like depression, stress, anxiety. How's your relationship doing? Listen, man, we've been dealing with a lot of crap for a year now, and we're trying to get ourselves back to normal. It hasn't been easy for people. Go to BetterHelp.com, all right? In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So that's great to hear. So they're continuously adding professionals to help you guys out. Look, guys, I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Griffin. Guys, betterhelp.com/Griffin. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Griffin for 10% off your first month. And let's get back to the show. Anyway, I saw the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, all right? And I want to talk about that. But let me just look up some stuff real quick so I make sure. Yeah, the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut of Justice League. All right. So let's talk about it. And I'm so into it that I even have notes, y'all. I wrote some notes down. So I don't want to be like a negative nanny, like when you're doing like reviews. So I want to give you the pros and cons. I don't know how we'll do if we'll go like, both. We can do pros first. We can do some pros, some cons. But first of all, let's say this. Now, here's the difficult part. First of all, I think this movie is a hot mess. I think it's a hot mess, and I think it's great all at the same time. And for a lot of reasons that we'll get into right now. So this is now the review of the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. So one of the issues is, have you seen the original Justice League? I have. You can't unknow what you know about that movie. So your experience when you're watching the new one, the Snyder cut, that's a part of if you like it or not. Because it could be the comparison of the two movies is what you like about it. Or, what they changed, the fact that you know what happened. Because my thing is, if you just saw this movie and you didn't see the other ones, I don't know if you're going to like it. It was a weird movie, Let's start with some cons, actually. So, then we'll start with some cons and finish with some good pros, First of all, the cons, like I said, I don't know if it was a good enough standalone movie if you haven't seen the original movie. It was too long. It was 4 hours. Nothing could hold your attention for 4 hours, 4 hours? 4-hour movie? That was long. So I thought it was too long. 2, it was in the 4-3 dimensions, like regular TV. I couldn't stand that. I actually watched it again on my iPad, and it was much more enjoyable. But when you're watching on your like 4K TV or your like regular dimension TV, 16:9, whatever that is, you're watching this movie and the sides are cut off. So you feel like you're missing half the movie. I don't know why they made that choice. They put a disclaimer up saying like, to show Snyder's vision, it was in this format. But I call bullshit. I think it was a money issue, but I have no idea. But the fact that he even convinced the studio, hey, can I do the movie again? That's a pro. Let me put that in the pro column. Because how many times have you wanted that yourself anyway? They did this for the Superman movie too. I remember the original Superman from the 70s. The director of that, he has his own cut of Superman 2, I believe it is, that he wanted. And it was all this drama. There's a great documentary about it, There was I don't know if it was an official documentary, but I saw something. I think it was on YouTube, and they were talking about this. And it was very fascinating to hear all the issues and problems that they were having making that movie, and the directors fighting with the studio. And so all these years later, he got a chance to like do it again. So this is great. Snyder comes and he says, listen, we're in the middle of a pandemic anyway, I guess, or maybe they weren't in the pandemic at the time, but he's like, hey man, because he had to leave the movie for some reason. He never got to finish it. I believe that's the story, but don't hold me to that. So he comes back and goes, can I finish it? Can we do it my way? Can you give me some money and let me just like do this again? And they said, okay, sure, buddy. Do what you want. Get the actors back, film new scenes, put the movie together the way you want. That is a big pro. Because, oh man, I would love to do that. I would love to take all these new Star Wars movies and be like, can I do them again? Can I be the editor of these? Can you do what I want? Wouldn't that be great if any of us could do that? What would we change about a movie? So that was fascinating about it, that we got to see this guy's vision of the movie. But you need the old vision of the movie to even appreciate his vision. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying it's a different experience if you've already seen the movie and you see the new one, which I think is the way to go. Even if you saw this one first, watch the old one so you could be like, oh, they really changed some stuff. So, all right. So that's in the con. I don't know if it's a standalone movie. Now, another thing that here's a quick con I have on my list that we can talk about. I'm gonna jump all over the place, but here's a con. I don't understand the power levels in the movie. Meaning, how strong is Wonder Woman? Because sometimes I think she's the strongest person in the whole movie. Like, is she strong? And then you got Superman. Is Superman, like, what is Superman's power level? What is Wonder Woman's power level? Can Wonder Woman hang with Superman? Because apparently she can, But they make it out like she can hang with him, but then she can't hang with him. It's so weird. And then you don't know how strong the villain is. There's Steppenwolf, whatever his name was, Steppenwolf. He reminded me of Thanos, because even in the MCU, I was like, how fucking strong is Thanos? Is he like, why? He beating up everybody. He can't be hurt. And then at other times he can be. It's so bizarre. So I wish you had a sense of the power levels. And I think this is something this is what's wrong with the Superman character too. This is what I'm saying too. Let's talk about this. Superman is a great character, I get it. It's but he's too powerful. It's too godlike, and that's why there's nowhere to go in the story. There's no villains that can really compete. They tried to make Lex Luthor. That's why they have Kryptonite. Without Kryptonite, it'd just be a boring guy who could do anything, and he's the strongest ever, and you know what I mean? It's just a bizarre, that's why let's make this little thing Kryptonite. Makes him the strongest person in the world. Okay, cool. Here's a question I want to pose to you about Superman. If the yellow sun of Earth makes people from Krypton gods, why the hell didn't they just move to someplace with a yellow sun? Because they had all this technology. If you know the Superman lore, according to the movies or I don't know what's canon anymore, but apparently Superman, that ship he came in was, it's got technology from 1,000 worlds, and they have all this knowledge and information and power and technology, but you just go to Earth and you could be then they all should move to Earth. Why didn't, you know what I mean? Or they should be like, well, maybe we need to move to a place with a red sun, with a yellow sun, because look what it does to us. I mean, imagine. It's like if we can go to Mars and on Mars, all of a sudden everybody's super fit. The Martian air makes your body go into the most optimal. You'd be like, what are we doing here? Let's go there. But we don't even have the technology to do that. But the Kryptonians obviously had the technology, so I don't understand that. But and like I say, I think a con is understanding the power levels. How strong is Aquaman? How strong is Wonder Woman? How strong is Superman in comparison to them? And then Flash, is he just fast or does he have power? And then the cyborg guy, he's made from this thing, the mother boxes and all that, whatever the hell that stupidness was. So here's another con about the movie, and it's also a pro. I thought it was too long, and I thought there were too many stories. But those too many stories are also a pro, because some of those stories were fantastic. And I thought a big con was that he left us hanging and we wanted more. I know it sounds like I liked the movie, but I mean, I'm telling you the too many stories, because it was like Snyder was like, I want to tell all these stories. And then because I think that he did in this one movie what Marvel did in 12 years. By making a Thor movie, Captain America movie, Captain Marvel movie, Iron Man movies, then making the joint movies, the Captain America, the Winter Soldier and all this stuff, right? They made they set us up for 12 years for this great finale. And I think Snyder was like, why don't we do what they're doing? So he sort of set up within this movie. He was telling some backstory. He was showing some heart and soul of these characters, why they're the way they are, who they are. And I thought it was great, and it was beautifully shot, and it was visually captivating. Here's a big pro I like about this movie compared to the other one. All right, Flash. In the Justice League that came out in 2017, the Flash was a pussy. They just set him up to be. He wasn't a hero. They completely took that out. They took it out. He was a straight up stud in this movie. All right. And they had this great scene of showcasing in X-Men. X-Men did it first. X-Men First Class with Quicksilver in X-Men. The scene where he's running so fast that everything's in slow motion. they did the same thing with the Flash, and it was great. And it made me be like, I'd watch a standalone movie with Flash. Like, I want to see the Flash movie with this guy. He's a much more interesting character now. This thing with his father being in jail and being accused of the death of his mom, and how he's trying to like get into law so he can like he can get his father off, and all of that stuff was like, it was just more captivating. It was more interesting when you made him a hero. So I really liked that change. That's one of the changes that I really liked. And like I say, this little snippet, this little of the movie, like really getting you into who Flash is and showing his power. And they show this girl that like, obviously you'd be like, oh, this is going to be a good spin-off. That's going to be the love interest maybe. And they're going to do this other Flash movie. And the way he did it in this movie, I'm down. I'm like, let me see a Flash movie. So that was a big con that I really liked. That was a big pro. I really like that a lot. Let me see. What else do I got here? I thought overall it was a better story. I thought overall what he added, because the original villain, Steppenwolf in the original, the guy, he was too like a cartoon character. He wasn't. It kind of felt same as like whatever was going on in that Wonder Woman movie. There was one of these movies where it was kind of the same thing, and I was like, oh, they're doing this again. So he really upgraded the villain. He was menacing and like, the metal armor, and his voice was better. And he was just like, I was a little bit like, this guy's a badass, right? So I did enjoy that. And like I say, the individual stories, you wanted more. So I liked that change. The overall story was better. And then he added, Deathstroke, or not Deathstroke, but he added the main Marvel villain. I wish I would have wrote that down. Look at me, I'm an old man. I'm forgetting stuff. But you saw this overall villain, who was like within the comic books, within DC. This guy is like the main bad guy. He's like the Thanos of the DC world. And now you see like, oh, okay, they're setting it up where they have to, they're gonna eventually have to go get this guy. And I thought he did a good job of being like, hey, I want to see this continued. Let's see what's going on past that. So, what is that guy's name? I know you guys are saying it in the chat right now. Maybe how should I Google main villain? Let's see, Justice League villains. You know what I mean? Let's see. Darkseid. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so Darkseid is this like Thanos type character. He's like the one who sent Steppenwolf to like get these mother boxes. I'm not gonna spoiler alert. I should have said spoiler alert from the beginning, but so now it gave more context to what's happening. Why are they coming to Earth? Why is all this happening? Snyder made it like make more sense, than the original movie. So I liked that. That was a pro. One of the big pros I liked about this movie, but it's also a con, is it was grimier, man. But what went wrong is the fact that they didn't film it as Deadpool. Like if it was a rated R Justice League, I'm on board 100%. But they didn't do that. But he added that element. So it was a lot grimier and grittier and a little more violent, more graphic. It was more graphic, but not graphic enough because they didn't have enough footage to be full-on graphic. But he toned down the cartooniness. Like the Wonder Woman scene, when you first see Wonder Woman in the movie, she's foiling a terrorist attack. And she beats these people up. Like it's violent. Heads crash against the thing. And overkill though, like the final villain, he tries to shoot all these people and she like blocks all the bullets, Wonder Woman style. And then she gets up and the gun's like, I don't believe it. And she's like, you believe it, or whatever catchphrase she says. And then she slams her to, that little move she does. It's like the Hulk. It's like the Hulk one. She slams her two like bracelets together and this sonic boom of power blasts out. I'm like, she blasted this dude, the property damage was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like Wonder Woman, what you doing? Just disarm this dude. Hit him with the lasso. You know, you got super speed. Zoom over there, take the gun out of his hand, and knock him out. Nah, she did the bracelets and blew a hole through the whole thing. Blew a hole through the whole building. Everybody's outside like, whoa, what the hell's going on? I mean, somebody's going to have to be accountable for that. The people that own that building will be like, hey, bitch, what's up with the, why didn't you just disarm him? Why you got to do all this property damage? So I thought that kind of stuff was like, come on, that was unnecessary. Especially when within the movie universe, that was a big thing. They were getting on Superman about that. Like, yo, bro, like, I think like 2 million people are dead in Metropolis. Like, you know, when you had your little fight with Zod, you know, you did like $1 trillion worth of damage. Can we talk about this? You know, that they made that a part of the movie, and I thought that was great. So, again, I think that even they even made one, because Wonder Woman's already a great movie, a great character. She's great. I love her. She's believable. Everything's believable about her, you know? And she's so beautiful and fierce, you know? And they made her even more interesting. He made that part more interesting, you know? And here's another one that I thought was a con pro was the music. I mean, some of the music was just out of place, over dramatic. It was just, I don't know. In some places, I thought it was nice. Like when that visual scene of Flash, when everything's in slow motion, I was like, oh, this is a nice choice. And then other times I'm like, why is this sort of gloomy ass gothic music playing? So some of it was weird. You know what I mean? So, which made it like, I don't know if it was good or bad. But like I say, these individual stories. So getting back to that, the individual stories. So the Flash story, great. Loved it. Want to see more. We already see in Wonder Woman movies. Great. Boom. But they finally went into like, I think the guy's Cyborg. I think that's what his name is. I don't know. But anyway, the black dude whose father, you know, turned him into a cyborg because he was in an accident. He used this mother box machine that the villains were trying to get to, you know, bring him back to life. And he's got all this cyborg power and he's like great with the machines and whatnot. But they started to give you a little backstory on him, a little context on his story. And I thought, oh, this is nice. This is what was needed. This is what, you know, the Iron Man movies, Captain America movies, all those movies gave us backstory. The Hulk movies, you know, it gave us backstory so we can like, you know, be invested in the characters. So he really took some time to get invested in these characters. And I really liked that. So I thought that guy's story was good. I thought the Flash story was good. I thought adding more to who Wonder Woman is. I thought all that stuff was good. Here's a big change that they made. Pro or con is, you know, they took out this thing about Batman being like how Batman is trying to kill himself or Batman's like sacrificing his life. They completely took that out too. They took that out, you know. Oh, Aquaman too, by the way. They gave some more context to about Aquaman's story and what's going on at Atlantis and all that kind of stuff. So, but we already have an Aquaman movie, and you know, I think they're doing another one. So, but they gave some more context, and I thought it was nice. You know, I thought all these little extra stories. It just made the movie too damn long. You know, but yeah. So, you know, so you know, so you have like all these different stories, like, you know, coalescing. You know, they're coming together and like making this movie. But it just was, I don't know, man. But I did like all of the little stories to help push the story along. So they took out that nonsense about the Flash being a coward. They took that out. They made him a hero. They took out Batman like being like, I messed up. I'm terrible. So I'm gonna like sacrifice myself for these people. They took all that out. They took out some things in the story, you know. They made it again. It was more grimy. It was more violent and graphic, you know. So I did like that. You can understand the villain. That's another thing I wrote. A note I wrote to myself, because in the original movie, he was like, his accent was so thick. It reminded me of like Bane or something. Where it was like they probably, you know, they probably thought this was cool, but for like 2 hours of a 4-hour movie, if you can't understand a character, you're like, what? And this character, I got his purpose, and his voice was good. It was scary. It was menacing. So I thought that was good. All right, let me get to something here that I thought was like, you could skip ahead to this and be satisfied. Like I would, like the whole 4 hours wasn't as good as the last 5 minutes of this movie. Okay? Like, spoiler alert right now. So, you might want to skip ahead. Skip ahead like 5 minutes or something. Because, all right, at the end of this movie, all right, there is a conversation between Batman, played by Ben Affleck, and the Joker in their universe, played by Jared Leto. And that shit is fantastic. Like, it is such a great exchange that I want to see that movie. Like, whatever's, because this was like a dream where they did this in the first movie too. And this is part of the DC lore, I believe, too. Like, Lois Lane dies. Somehow she dies. And Superman can't take it, and he goes crazy. He becomes the thing that Batman thought he would become. That he would become this overlord, dictator, and we all have to go Lois Lane's death, especially Bruce Wayne. Makes no sense that Superman can't find them. I feel like he could just fly into the sky and X-ray vision just look until they find them, but I don't know. Super hearing. He knows what their voices sound like. Didn't make any sense that he couldn't find them. So it's in this kind of post-apocalyptic world in Batman's dream, or if it's a premonition. And there's this, like, I'm telling you, just dynamic, explosive exchange. He is dope, Batman. Say what you want about him. He was a terrible Daredevil, but he's a dope-ass Batman. This exchange he has with Jared Leto. And Jared Leto, let me just say this. Whatever he didn't do for the Joker character in the original movie, in what is it? I forgot the name of the whatever that movie is they did with Harley Quinn and all that. I think that and then after seeing the new Joker, after seeing, like, people talk about him, and then knowing that Heath Ledger, how Heath Ledger did it, and I think for this part of the movie, he went to town on this and did it was a great Joker. And to me, it was the best part of the movie. It was the one part of the movie that I perked up. And this is after 4 hours, where I was like, damn, that's good. Just their exchange was just, I'm telling you right now, you can skip ahead to it right now and you'll enjoy it, because it has nothing to do with everything that happened in the Justice League. Like, it literally has nothing to do with Justice League. It has something to do with, like, and what I'm sad about is, I want more of this. I want to see this continued. I want Snyder I hope the studio goes, okay, people really liked this. Why don't you continue, man? Let's get the band back together and do this again. Cause I don't know. I think it's completely worth it. So that was the spoiler for that. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I could say a lot more, but I don't know. I guess people ask, do you need to see the original Justice League to enjoy this? I don't think you do, but I think you should. That's my last advice for that. I think you should. So I think I covered all my points I wanted to cover about the movie. But I can't reiterate enough that the ending of that movie is just fantastic. That's just an explosive exchange between two pretty good actors. It's one time I saw I was like, I wish they would let Ben Affleck actually write and direct a grimy Deadpool type rated R Batman movie, because, man, I can't tell you enough. It's worth going to watch to check that out. All right. Yeah, baby. I think that's it about Justice League for now, huh? I really think I went into it enough. If you have questions, if you want to talk about it more, hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Netflix. I'm not Netflix. Hit me up on Instagram. And, maybe I'll talk about it again next week. Maybe I'll get some questions in the Instagram. I'm going to put up a question. What do you want me to talk about with Justice League again? Because, it's worth it. It's what's happening right now. And I'm a super nerd. I like superhero movies and all that kind of stuff. So, that being said, let me do a quick brief of what I thought of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Dudes, let me tell you. I don't know if I want to see a movie again, because I want this. If they're going to spend the money, if they're going to spend movie money to make 8-episode series and really get into the nitty-gritty, build the universe and they're going to do it in that MCU style, I'm 100% for it. Because, listen, I enjoyed WandaVision, especially the later episodes when they really started to delve into, like, who is Wanda and what happened and what's going on. I thought it was great. This started fantastic. It's well made. The special effects are dope. It's the actors from the movies, too, so it's great. You know what I mean? So I just there was one thing though. There was one thing about Falcon and the Winter Soldier that I was like, they made a mistake here, and that's with Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle, I don't know how to say his last name. His character, he plays the Iron Guy. He's not supposed to be able to. He's supposed to have fake legs, and they didn't do that in the movie. In the show, he ain't supposed to have his legs. Remember, he hurt himself in one of those movies in Civil War, and then Stark gave him the fake legs, and he didn't have the fake legs in the movie. That was an error. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was an error. But anyways, Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was great. You really getting into, and Sebastian, whatever his last name is, he was on I'm Dying Up Here too. He's really a great actor. So him as the Winter Soldier, seeing him, like, that's what you want to know. Like, how does the Winter Soldier, after everything that happened to him, evil organization, how does someone come to terms with that about themselves? I love that they're exploring that. He's in therapy and he's trying to figure out who he is now. And I loved it, and it was still violent and, it's adult, and it's worth the watch. I hope that the rest of the series continues in the same way. But for now, they did a fantastic job. So thumbs up for me on Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1. Because again, too, they're delving into this. People were gone for 5 years, and how did that affect people's life? I mean, because remember, Falcon was gone. He disappeared for 5 years. And then when he comes back, he's like, damn, my nephews and nieces are like, now they're 5 years older. My sister was struggling with paying the bills, and so now I'm here to try to help, but she don't want my help. And it's like they're delving into all that, and I just think, oh, man, this is great. You can't get into this when you're doing a 2-hour movie, even a 3-hour movie, but you can when you're doing hours of a television show. I think it's much better. To the point where even if they made it would be dope if they made hour-long episodes that you had to go watch in the theater. I mean, I think I would even do that. You know what I mean? Like, let's say they had you had to go to the movie theater if you really wanted that experience, and you got to go see, maybe they showed you some other stuff or whatever. But it's just because I don't know how they justify the money they spend to make it. Do they get that money back? But I mean, look at Netflix. They spend all that money. So I don't know. Like I say, thumbs up, Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So check that out. All right, guys. Anyways, thank you for watching Riffin' with Griffin. And shout out to my sponsors, BetterHelp.com. Remember, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Griffin. And of course, Helix Sleep. Get the best sleep of your life. So check those guys, both those things out. You can see all the stuff in the description. And, I'll be back. Rachel will be back. Real World Advice from the Grown Ass Man will be back. And I'll keep you posted about what's going on with this process of me doing this new, great, fantastic job that I hope they announce today, so you know what I'm talking about. But if not, they will soon. And I don't know. I still enjoy doing this. I'm feeling comfortable with it, even more so after 100-something episodes. I'm really comfortable. I'm fine with the level that it's at right now, and hopefully it'll grow. And if it doesn't, I still appreciate everybody that's been here, that is here all the time, every single week. So thank you, and I will see you next week.